Hey guys, Magnus Robert here. Really excited. The Walking Dead Michonne's Telltale trailer hit yesterday. It's 48 seconds long. I shall leave the link for it in the description. If I don't for any reason, please tell me. But let's get it with it. Let's get started with this little breakdown. So just to actually, before I do get started though, I just want to go through some information about it. So it's going to start in February 2016. We originally got the idea that it was going to kind of start around like September to about December, but I guess they're stopping that. That's okay though. All cool. At least they've given us a trailer, but it's something which I'm actually really surprised about. It's actually going to be 3 episodes long, which I did not expect. So before I kind of go through the scenes, just going to real quick go through the kind of article. So basically, this is on Rick Paper Shotgun. I shall also leave a link to that. Basically says, now that Telltale have wrapped up the first series of Tales from Borderland and the Game of Thrones, it's time to show a little more of what's coming next. So last night they announced a Batman series, but also showed off something sooner. A wee trailer for The Walking Dead Michonne shows that the 3-episode miniseries, which fills in the story during a gap in the comics, will start in February 2016. Oh, and Michonne won't be voiced by her TV actor, but is having her words put in her mouth by the excellent Samira Wiley, I think this is. And this is the character called Pussy. Is it Pussy? And I have watched Orange is the New Black. I think it's Pussy, I don't know. From Orange is the New Black. I have watched it. I'm just not a massive fan of it. But basically, Telltale explained the story explores Michonne on an untold journey during the time between issues 126 and 139. Haunted by her past, players will discover what took her away from Rick, Ezekiel, and the rest of the trusted group, and what brought her back. When Telltale announced the miniseries back in June, they had planned to kick it off in the autumn. That obviously didn't happen, and it's curious that something they thought was only a few months away ended up taking a whole lot longer. They do juggle an awful lot of games at once, mind. So I can imagine they might have needed to shift people around to finish something else. Anyway. February 2016 it is, and then it just kind of says about how do you feel about it. So I think that's some really cool information. So let's go through the scenes. So it's only real quick. I would recommend you go watch it first. So the first thing we have is like Michonne kind of lying down, as you can see, on her bed. I want to say, well, obviously it's like a makeshift bed. Now this could be in the boat. It does look like it's kind of wooden, so it could be inside the boat. Now the only 2 characters completely confirmed for this in terms of named characters is Pete and Michonne. Pete's a very small character. He's a sailor. Who obviously Michonne in the comic. This is for the comic series. Michonne in the comic series. Is basically a fisherwoman along with this man called P and a few others. Then we obviously have kind of a close-up of Michonne sleeping, and she kind of wakes up all shocked as she kind of seemingly dreams about her 2 children kind of holding hands. Now these 2 children are actually her kids. Essentially what happened is in one of the later issues, she basically tells Rick, well, it's kind of an old issue now, but she kind of tells Rick why she left, and basically she says, I left because of what actually happened to her kids. Now in the TV show we obviously have Andre, his son, but it's completely different here because obviously she has 2 kids, not 1. Who basically were killed by zombies, and seemingly anyway, and she kind of feels guilty about it, and it kind of haunts her a little bit. The next thing we get is her kind of on her knees in the sunlight, and it's some sort of sign that says, it says prohibited, no fires, and she's kind of looking out to sea. Makes me think maybe the boat's been taken or something. Maybe she's been stranded. I don't know. The fact that she's very close to the water does suggest something that's going to happen with the boat and her fishing and all that. And obviously we have one of her kind of ready, about to pull her sword out. Really cool shot. I do like it. Covering the eyes. Really cool. The next shot is just one of zombies kind of by an ambulance. It looks like again pretty cool. Nothing much. It's cool to kind of see the artwork for the zombies. Again, it just looks like normal Telltale zombies. And then we have one with Michonne whipping out the sword. It's kind of cool. I like that shot a lot. It does shows her badassness. Then we actually have one of the boat, which I think is really cool and kind of essential. And we can see kind of in the distance there is an island there, so it's probably the dock that we see in the comics that it's just kind of leaving. But there again, it could be anywhere. I'm thinking that maybe she gets a bit stranded, maybe somewhere. I'm not too sure though. We're not entirely sure on the story. And then we have one with Michonne with a torchlight, and it seems like the person to her left is Pete. May not be, but it is an African American person, so it likely is Pete. Moving on, we have another one kind of with the back of a head, and again I think this must be Pete. It looks like a kind of a ring in his ear, and in the comics I'm sure Pete has a thing in his ear, but don't quote me on that. Again, with the comics being black and white, it's hard to tell. Yeah. Anyway, moving on, we have the next one we have is of three survivors. Now we have this kind of guy in the middle. He does look a bit like I want to say a bit like maybe like a mix between the guy on the left definitely looks like Johnny, you know, on the yeah, he looks like Johnny, and the guy on the right looks familiar. The old dude look familiar from currently like other bad guys who've died, like the minor ones. But I mean, I don't know. Moving on. But they're kind of cool anyway. I do like them. It's kind of cool that they showed us the bad guys, basically, or at least they're seemingly the bad guys. They could be good guys for all we know. Moving on, we have a quick one of the zombies. Again, pretty cool. Nothing much to say. They kind of break through the door. You know, something's gonna happen. Next, we have one of Michonne, and this must be Pete. This must be Pete. Yeah, I mean, the beard, everything. Yeah, it's Pete. That's Pete. That's definitely Pete. One of her and Pete. Moving on, we have a zombie munching on something or someone. Can't quite tell who that is. It's not clear, so it's not like I can tell this character dies. Then we have a very, very brief shot of the characters from before. They're definitely the characters from before. Basically firing a couple of AKs. Reminds me of episode 2 of A House Divided, where we have Johnny and Carver and Bonnie and all that come through with their AKs. But yeah, really, really cool shot. Obviously, you may have missed that, but there you go. And then we have one of this kid here. Kind of looks like he's been beaten. Obviously, he looks like an innocent character to me. Because then in the next shot, we see he's got a gun to his head, and to the left, you can see that character from before. And obviously, seemingly, this is another one of those characters. So it looks like Michonne maybe meets this kid, and then he gets in peril, and obviously these guys kind of catch up to them or something. Next one we have kind of like Michonne. Obviously, someone's behind her. She's obviously seemingly on her knees. So yeah, something happens there. That'd be cool to see. And then we have this very, very quick scene of her basically walk up to the zombie and slice it in the head. And you can see there's the ambulance there, so it obviously is from the previous shot of, you know, that quick one we see all the zombies kind of moving, which is okay. And then we just kind of have the title for it, and then just some general information. So yeah, I mean, I'm really, really really, really happy, really, really excited for the Michonne miniseries. It's definitely going to be exciting. I'm really happy that they're doing it, especially that it's tying into the comics. That's really cool, and I do hope Clem comes to the comics. That would be so cool. Even if it's like literally just for a panel. I don't know. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little breakdown. I will be doing a walkthrough of The Walking Dead Michonne for sure. There were other games like No Man's Land that I ended up not doing just because I can't record an iPad. But the fact that this is on PC, definitely playing it for you guys. So anyway, thanks for watching. Goodbye.